Recent debates around book banning in schools have become highly polarized and partisan. Parents and politicians calling for certain titles to be removed are often accused of being anti-diversity or censoring viewpoints. But looking closely, the situation is more complex. The catch is, regarding books focused on topics of race or even sexuality, objections rarely focus on diversity or representation. On the contrary, concerns center on ideas that actively call for dismantling existing societal systems and structures. Books like Stamped, Racism, Anti-Racism, and You face criticism not for racial content, but specifically for arguments promoting active socialist policies that counter classical liberalism. The backlash to critical race theory is less about acknowledging racism in history, and more about critiquing deconstructionist philosophies. In contrast, novels such as To Kill a Mockingbird and Huckleberry Finn are challenged repeatedly. Not for their ideological messaging, but for words and depictions now considered offensive. The objections to these and similar stories stem from specific language and portrayal of racist attitudes, losing focus on the underlying message condemning racism and injustice. While probably worth a separate video, please note similar language becomes acceptable in music with parental advisories and/or age limitations. Why wouldn't that work for books too? Recent book removal efforts seem motivated not by suppressing racial diversity in literature, but by rejecting deconstructionist ideologies. We can support representation of diverse races and viewpoints in school materials, while still taking issue with directives to actively wreck rather than improve established institutions. Accusing all critics of race-focused books of being regressive censors oversimplifies legitimate philosophical differences. There is room for nuance in determining which ideas align with the community's values for their educational curriculum. Book banning should not be imposed lightly nor for partisan purposes. But parents and local districts do have some right to shape learning materials based on their ideals, age/maturity parameters, and dialing down calls for radical transformation. A diversity of reasonable political thought on such complex topics should be allowed.